Good morning, everybody. I'd like to take a minute right now to give you a little deep bluegill fishing tip. A lot of folks like to use slip bobber rigs when they're fishing for bluegills, and that can be a little hectic when you're fishing 20 plus foot of water. So I'll show you a little trick that I like to use. What I like to do is drop shot for deep water bluegills, and I'll show you a little bit of the terminal tackle that I like to use for that setup, and hopefully it helps you guys out. So the first thing that I start off with is a drop shot weight. I like to use this one. It's by Voss. There's a couple of features about this that I find beneficial. Number one, you'll notice that it's curved. This will keep it from getting hooked up or tangled up in the rocks. And the other thing I really like about this weight is that it's just got a little, see if you can see that in there. You don't have to tie your line to this weight. You can just run it through there and then pull it up, and it'll kind of crimp on. That way, if you do hang up, a quick snap of the rod and you can free your line without breaking it, and you don't have to mess around with retying your whole drop shot setup in that instance. So a Voss, you can use this one here as a 1/4 ounce. They come in, I think, 3/16 and 1/8 ounce as well. But that's the weight I like to use at any rate. And then the other thing I'll show you is the hook that I prefer. It's pretty small, so it's going to be a little tough to see on camera here. But what that is a Mustad mosquito hook. It's a number 6. When I tie that to my fluorocarbon, I use just a basic Palomar knot, and then I run my tag line back down through the eye of the hook, and that's going to help that hook stand up on the line a little bit better. So just basic Palomar knot, run that tag end down through the eye of the hook, and away you go. A couple other things about this technique. For rod, you'll want to use a little heavier rod than you normally would use. A lot of people like to ultralight fish for bluegills. It's a lot of fun to do it that way. But because you're going to be slinging that 1/4 ounce weight around, I like to use a 6-foot light action NQS Performance Outdoors panfish rod. For my line, I'll go ahead and I'll use a super line. You can use Power Pro. I use Fireline Crystal for my super line. And then the last thing I'll do is I'll tie a fluorocarbon leader directly to my main line. I don't like to mess around with a swivel. The swivel just seems to knock around in the guides and also damage the guides. So go ahead and feel free to use a swivel if you like. I'm willing to sacrifice a little bit of line twist just to keep that swivel from banging around and damaging my guides. So just a little uni knot works well for that purposes. It's a small knot. It flies through the guide seamlessly. You can fish this technique straight up and down vertically over the side of the boat, or you can make short to medium range casts with this technique as well. If you are going to make some casts, the key is just hold that rod tip up high, reel it in slow, keep the line tight, don't allow any slack in the line, and you're going to feel every one of those bluegills come up and bite. Hope that helps you guys out. Deep water bluegills. Thanks.